But Eric, there are three other things that I wrote down here in my show
Tell
notes
me.
in preparation for more shares. Number one, run contests and or giveaways. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Walkthrough Podcast presented by BAM, your go-to marketing and branding podcast. I am your co-host, Dan O'Neill, team leader in New York and Florida, and we are back. It has been a long, maybe the longest 3 weeks of my life, from Eric being in Italy. I had my member guest, which I lost miserably in, and July 4th. We are finally back, and boy, have I missed this show. Joining me on today's show, as always, is my tan and jacked co-host, Mr.
Give me a
Eric
second.
LeBrook.
Let me check real quick. Let me pull up the app. We have a UV index of a 9 today in Brentwood, a UV index at a 9. So from the period of 12 to 1 o'clock, I will be tanning front, not back, as you can see.
I thought you just interrupted. I thought we were done. I thought I had to redo that intro there. I wasn't even looking at the
Start
screen.
over.
That was insane. Oh, thank God we have a UV index of 9 in Brentwood, California. Moving on. Somebody that has not seen any sun or the UV index in what seems to be 5 years, all the way from the Space Coast. Thank you for your service, Mr. Shane Bergman. And last but certainly not least, from Greenville, North Carolina, Miss Emily McAllister. Today we are talking how to get more shares on your content. July and summer content ideas, what's working for us in marketing, and our favorite marketing of the week. But first, make sure to sub, throw us a comment if you're glad we're back. This is going to be a 9.6 out of 10 episode. Let's get to it.
All right, everybody.
Topic number one.
Topic number one. Let's do it.
Topic number one. Eric, what is our friend? Let me repeat that. Topic number one, Instagram chief operating officer, whatever he is, CEO, reiterates that sends are now a key focus. Eric, what is our friend Adam Asari spewing out of the side of his mouth now?
Well, I certainly wouldn't call him our friend, Dan, but the Instagram chief has now reiterated that sends, aka shares, you heard of him, Dan, you never get them on your content, are the number one piece of content. No, the number one determiner of how your content does well. So in case you were not clear, there's a new algorithmic emphasis on sends. He reiterated to creators in another Instagram video and a podcast recently. So as outlined by Masseri, with more people now engaging within DMs in the app, people are now engaging with DMs almost more than the actual feed. Instagram is now actively seeking to amplify content that prompts more sharing behavior, i.e. posts that inspire more users to tap the send icon and forward it to your friends. Instagram is also now looking to underline this with its new sends display. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, but if your Instagram app is updated, you could actually see, instead of just likes and comments, you could see the amount of sends right there on the feed. So clearly they're trying to showcase this as like, hey, this is something really good with this piece of content. It got this amount of sends. So I will kick this back to our guest, Dan. In terms of getting sends, are you purposely making content that gets sends? Shane, I'll start with you. And if you are, what sort of content do you post that gets the most shares?
Yeah, I mean, I am making content for shares. And a lot of times when we think about ideas, it's one of those things that Connor and I will sit down and be like, would we send this to someone if we saw this organically? And if it's then we probably won't make that piece. But then if it's like, yeah, then we're way more, influenced to make that. So that's why a lot of our stuff is either falls under the category of humor, because it brings positive emotions and energy to people, and then education. And that article that you referenced, and I don't know if you'll have it on the show notes for this, but I pulled a good little script from it. And I thought it was really enlightening, because it says, if you want to trigger comments, which you just talked about how it was a key driver of maximizing the algorithm, you want to go for emotionally charged concepts, things that spark strong responses like anger and then fear, which I think we all know that because the comments will just go off with stuff. But if you want to drive shares, inspiring, interesting, and humorous content is key. And then it talks about the motivation for sharing upbeat content may be rooted deep in self-presentation, because passing on a positive emotional experience makes others feel good, which in turn makes the sharer look good.
I like that.
Yeah, down too. Damn it, Shane.
Yeah.
You were good.
So did I.
Word for word, you are good.
You're right, Shane. You know what else drives comments is when you ask a question in the caption. So if you're trying to get people to comment, ask them something specific, like how many years have you been in the business, or what's your favorite feature of this home, something like that. That's not necessarily going to get shares. But Emily, what about you? What sort of content on your page is getting the most shares right now?
The hyper local content that I like, which I historically have not been doing, and then over the past probably 4 to 5 months have put a lot of focus on, is getting the most amount of traction and shares. And it's better for me because it's only being shared like within the market that I work, at least for the most part. And then, some of the other like more facing content, I pretty much understand that those shares are amongst other agents. But the hyper local stuff has worked really well for me in terms of people sending it over, because the things that I share on socials are things that I think are funny, or like this is something I want to do. And so like events and like places that are opening and whatnot, that has been shared a bunch on my Instagram recently.
Yeah.
Best sushi spots in Greenville, possibly, Dan? How about
Mm.
that? You could pull the old Jason
Shout out to Jason
Cassidy.
Cassidy. Who's doing a really, really good job of that is Amanda Palmieri on the team. She's
She is.
finally found her niche, and she's just been going to local restaurants that are maybe either opening, reopening, and going there, filming. Sitting down with either the restaurant manager, the GM, and her videos are getting like 900,000 views and an insane amount of shares because people are now sending it to their spouses, their friends. Like, hey, we need to go try this. Like, check out this brunch menu or check out this restaurant. And again, we've been talking about that for a long time, but to actually see it working and like being consistent with it, her social is blowing up.
Oh
And
yeah,
we're
dude, it
talking
looks
after
excellent.
Speaking of the hyper local,
Amanda's.
Emily, I,
yeah.
I saw on your page you did. They like built some new development on like a Navajo burial ground or an ancient Native American burial
Oh,
ground,
yes.
and the purchasers of the new residence had no idea. I bet that got a lot of shares.
So that actually, I did not know that this had happened. That happened about an hour and 15 minutes from me, but I had seen it on Facebook, and I was like, "Oh, holy shit! Like this is like kind of a big deal, I think." And it wasn't being featured in the news, and so I was like, "Let me just go ahead and the Facebook post had been inside of a group, and that had a lot of engagement." And I was like, I feel like this is not getting the level of attention that it really probably should. But yes, that got a good amount of engagement on TikTok and on Instagram. Just because that's like a very hot button. And it did kind of link in with like a couple of recent news articles where there is a House bill that has been proposed to change the legislation for the state on like what is required of developers to like determine whether or not there's some sort of archaeological site in certain locations and whether or not they can develop.
How about that, Dan? Imagine you buy a house and it is on an ancient burial ground. You would have
Poltergeist.
ghosts and demons and poltergeists haunting you, crawling through your ears, pulling your pants down, doing everything they possibly can.
Wait, time out. I mean, I would never. First of all, second
Oh,
of
right.
all, I do believe in those things, and yeah, they do pull my pants down already. And I don't live on a Native American burial ground. Hey, but Eric, there are three other things that I wrote down here in my show
Tell
notes
me.
in preparation for more shares. Number one, run contests and or giveaways. We've seen that work, right? That's the
Mhm.
low hanging fruit. Trends, obviously, right? And the third thing that I was collaborating, number three, and number four is including the like element of surprise, right? Like finding myself sharing funny, relatable, and or motivational content, positive content that I want Shane to see, or hey, I'm thinking of you, Eric. I want you to see this, or Shohei Otani just hit a 900-foot home run. I want you to see this, right? That is, and now that you can actually see like on the video how many shares it gets, if I see something that gets 2,400 shares, I'm watching that video as opposed to something that gets
Mm.
200 comments. If that makes any sense.
Yeah,
So,
it,
uh,
it absolutely makes sense. And I think, Shane, your point at the very beginning about how to conceptualize your content, about how do I frame this to post where people will share it? Like actively put your brain inside of the consumer and your follower and think to yourself, would I share this with someone? If the answer is no, doesn't mean you shouldn't post it, because not all content should be about shares, but something to consider. Will this drive comments? Would I react to this if I was on the other end of this post?
What's
So
it's kind of like the same thing Emily was saying too. Like, when she shares content, she's probably also sharing it because it's like an idea or something she's inspired by, wants to kind of like make that piece of content. So same, I think, philosophy with that. Like if she sends that, like you got to think about if you make something, you want someone else to send that for the same reasons that you would send it. So
Some
definitely,
of
exactly.
some of the share tallies on Shane's videos are me sending them to other agents, going, "Look at
Absolutely.
this video Shane did."
yeah.
I mean, it's just Eric and I sending each other back and forth saying, look how brutal this video is. We're hate watching here.
Yeah.
I do
No,
more of
Shane,
that, honestly. I just say, look
I'm
at this
sure you do. Well, that's
mother.
part of it too.
Yeah.
Is
Yes.
is hate watching content
Yeah.
and sharing it to people and saying like, I
I,
can't
I
believe I
stopped
just saw
sharing.
this. If you're
Yeah.
watching this and you're enjoying this, make sure you throw us a like if you are getting any sort of value out of this. And how about you share this content too, huh? Help us out. Share the YouTube.
Wow.
Share this YouTube link with another friend,
Okay.
and then maybe they will start to share your content. All right, topic number 2. July content ideas. Because Danny Deals and I were out on 4th of July weekend, we couldn't get into this. 4th of July happened, so we can't really trend jack that right now, but it is summer.
Mhm.
And keep in mind, Shane, there is a little bit of a summer slowdown with content. Emily, I don't know if you feel this at all. Maybe it's just me, but website views are down a little bit. People are on vacation. Instagram, not hitting as usual. I don't know. But it's time to, get back into the content groove. It's time to double down on content. So
Yeah.
I'm going to throw together a few ideas here, which I basically say every June and July, and then I will kick it to you guys and see what you guys got. All right.
You got it.
July content ideas. All right. How about some summer post ideas? The best staycation spots. I think we went over this in June. If you take a summer vacation, give some highlights from your trip. Restaurants with the best outdoor patios and views. Kid-friendly beaches, parks, restaurants, and outdoor activities. Home tips to keep your house cool. Do you crack a window open, Dan?
Not if
Do
the
you
UV
turn on
index
the
is 9,
AC? I
brother.
don't.
Yeah.
I don't really know what tips you would need for that. That was kind of a stupid one that I wrote down there.
It's terrible.
Pool content, how much value is gained by adding a pool, what it costs to keep it, and connecting people with resource if they're interested in putting in or redoing their pool. We actually had a template where we had this in BAMX where we talked about the value of adding a pool. Link down in the description. Use code walkthrough for 10% off. How about that little plug right there? And then also you could do, what sun damage can do to certain parts of your house, plants, your face, which I will be experiencing in about 10 years.
Well,
Wait. I'm almost done.
All right.
I'm almost done. 2024 is 50% over. Are you meeting your halfway goals? Remind the audience, hey, we're halfway through 2024. Have you reached your home purchase, your home selling goals, something like that? And then finally, let everyone know you're going on vacation, because when you go on vacation, you get busy. Is that what you're going to say, Dan?
That was one of the things that I had. Yes, it's the age old trick here. You just, even if you don't go on vacation, or even if you just pretend, open up the Delta app, open up the Expedia app. As soon as you just even think of it, your phone will start blowing up. It is
Absolutely
the easiest way to get your phone to ring.
guaranteed business. Emily, let's start with you here. Do you have any interesting content planned for this summer, or some ideas for us?
I mean, I feel like the summer is pretty much half over. We're about to shift to back to
Yeah.
school, but there are because I'm like an hour ish from the coast. There's all kinds of things that I can tap into in terms of content, like events and things that are going on. We do all kinds of festivals and that kind of stuff. So I am going to try to do some more, all of that kind of stuff that's like more hyper local things that are things that people can do.
Yep.
The last time that I did that, I highlighted a festival, and then I was out there the next day and I ran into a past client who was like, I'm out here because I saw your video. And I was like, oh, hell yeah.
There you go. The top 3 summer sushi spots in Greenville. Right, Dan?
You love
Yeah,
sushi.
stupid joke. All right. Shane, what about you? What are you doing this summer?
I don't do a lot of seasonal focused content. A couple of things we'll do. I do live on the coast, so beach accesses are very close to us, and they just recently started charging for beach access at certain city levels. So being able to provide content, we've had people on our team do this where you can park for free at the beach. That content has actually done really, really well. And then new restaurants on the beach are always popping up. So places to go if you're, after surfing, where you can go and bring the family, those just very nuanced and, like Emily said, hyper local pieces perform well. We're also, in Florida. And so hurricane season is here. It starts in June and it goes out until the end of November. So being able to kind of prepare people for that, whether it's the things they need to do to get their home protected, all the way to I've been nerding out lately on how they name hurricanes. So I'm working on a piece now about the algorithm that they use to name the hurricanes is insane. So I'm working on a really short content piece to educate people on how they came up with the name for a hurricane and where
Just
it
whoever
came from.
Isn't it just like whoever found it? Like, hey, there's a hurricane
No.
coming, like, and his name
No,
is
there's a
Do you think it's a
list
solar
of
system or like a
swear to
comet
God.
or something? Like there's
swear.
someone floating around the ocean. They see a hurricane and they
No, well,
say,
they're like
Stacy.
no, well, that's what they do for a living, and then they're the ones that spot it, and then the first ones to spot it, so that then the hurricane's named after them.
no, wrong.
Well, there you go. See, so
Wrong.
So there's a predetermined there's 6 predetermined lists with 21 names.
Yeah.
And they alternate it every 6
Well, I
years
don't
for
know.
the name, and they go down in alphabetical order. And then they're also specifically named, and they eliminate certain characters, so it's easy to correspond via radio, and then also on the news. So there's like no Z's in them, no Y's, because sometimes those are hard to pronounce. So it's actually like pretty cool.
Don't
That
they?
is really cool. It's just
Shane,
go
don't
ahead,
they?
Emily.
Don't they retire certain names also if like a storm is like catastrophic? Like Andrew and
They do.
Katrina, like don't they? That's
Yep.
You
not in
can't
the
do that
list.
again. Yeah.
No, they
That-
retire the names if they evoked a strong impact and could bring up like just PTSD. And then they do have a supplemental list where they'll exchange the names out to where they keep that 21 name rolling. Interesting thing about this year is they're expecting more than 21 hurricanes, so they will be bringing in the supplemental list because they're expecting somewhere between 24 and 25.
Wow.
Just so you guys know, yeah, the water in the Atlantic hottest it's ever been,
Yeah.
and it's the earliest Category 5 hurricane we've ever seen.
Wow.
So if you
They
are
will
not
spend a lot
scared
of
about
time on
this,
this.
yeah.
Shane,
I just go
Shane,
down a
this
path.
is
I
a
can't
great.
get out.
Yeah.
It's a great topic for social because
Yes.
it interests everybody. Because
Yeah.
I immediately want to know how they name
Yeah.
hurricanes. I think I can't believe that Dan thinks that there's like some
Like a
little guy in
debris?
a sailboat flying around the Atlantic Ocean and they see a little twirl in the ocean and then he radios into NASA and says,
found it.
hey, I'm thinking it's Hurricane Shelby. How about that? Hurricane Shelby. And then
All
they
right.
name it based off of that.
Sounds
That is
good.
crazy.
I didn't think it was some guy, in a kayak, right in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. I thought it was like a meteorologist or whatever, like a weatherman. Like, hey, the clouds are looking this way. Maybe there's a hurricane. My name is Michael. Please name it Hurricane Michael. Okay, that's what.
Please
that
name
was-
it after me. Give me the
I don't know
honor
if you
of
want the
calling
hurricane
this
after
hurricane
you.
my
You
name.
guys, you know what? Now I'm going to do some research. You guys are fools. You know what other content ideas we can do for July? And we've
What?
touched on this, ad nauseum, but I find myself looking for this right now. I love live music. I'm on a live music kick. That 70s band, 45 RPM. These are hyper local to my market over here, but I want to know where they're playing. I want to go to the beach bars. I want to listen to them live. I want to be like a 50-year-old that just goes and watch live music, but I can't find them. It's like you got to have like a secret passcode to figure out where they're playing. So more of beach bars, drinks, summertime activities, live music, events, and no one else mentioned it. But how about market updates? We're 1 month away here from this from NAR here. We're 1 month away. So there you go.
I like that. Maybe there'll be a little guy in a kayak in Long Island finding little local, bands playing for you. I think that could
just like
that could help
Groundhog's Day, right, Eric?
name 'em.
Yeah,
Exactly.
genius.
Groundhog's Day.
Yep.
Keep in mind, Dan thought Leonardo da Vinci was a scientist at the last Tom Ferry concert.
That was Mozart.
Contest.
God.
Mozart.
Mozart.
Beethoven.
Yeah.
You fool.
Or Mozart was an artist.
Yes.
Let us know in the comments if you got any ideas for us this summer. Make sure you throw Hurricane Shane alike for giving us that information, Hurricane Emily and Hurricane Dan.
Yes.
I like that. We used to call my best man at my wedding Hurricane Mike because
Really?
one time we threw a pool party. He was hammered in the pool, spinning around like a tornado, like a hurricane. So we called him Hurricane Mike.
Still, does he still have that name?
I would hope
No,
not.
he doesn't.
I think
He doesn't.
yeah, he has a wife and he has a child now.
He's
So
now
I think-
he's now an adult.
no.
All right, let's get into something a little different, Dan. Instead of just saying, here's the best thing, we've done this week. We have 2 guests on that are amazing content creators. And we thought, why should we pull from other people saying this is the best thing we've seen when we could just say this is the best thing that they have posted? And Shane put out an amazing video about how to kind of separate yourself as a buyer's agent.
Anytime you are showing property, put it in your calendar and invite your client. Now for the event title, I use Preview Property, and I'm going to elaborate a little bit more on that at the end of the video, but you can use anything you want for that title as long as it gets the idea out that you are looking at homes. For the event location, I put the starting point of where we will begin our journey. Now the best part about the calendar invite is I can include a link to our digital tour sheet in the description of the event so the client can see all of the homes we're looking at and in what order. This makes you stand out as a buyer's agent because it shows the client that you have prioritized them and also demonstrates how organized you are. It also shows structure and processes, which gives clients confidence in your abilities. Plus, if you're a data nerd like me, you can go back to your calendar and search the set of keywords. So for me, it's preview property, and look at all the showings that you've done this year, last year, in your entire career. And the reason I use preview property is because I use a text reminding software called Appointment Reminder. So Appointment Reminder goes through my calendar, and anything that says preview property, it'll send a script, which is basically a text reminder to the client that I have invited to that appointment.
Amazing video, Shane. Not only does it hit the agent to agent audience with the information that agents can do that, but it also shows your client that you're on a different level. What was the thought process behind that video?
Same thing. So I love the educational videos just because I like giving away education, but this one specifically made for not only because it's topic, right? Buyer's agents. A lot of buyer's agents are concerned like how they're going to differentiate. So that was kind of key number one. Key two is again on that educational field. I know it was shareable. And then number three was since I didn't directly call out an agent, like agents do this. I specifically did that because I wanted buyers and sellers to see how I operate and question the abilities of the agent that they might be working with to say, hey, why isn't my guy doing this? And, or I just need to hire Shane. So kind of like all of that and mixed in one. And that's how we kind of figured that out. That video, I mean, I'm still getting shares on it. I still get DMs almost daily. And it's funny because people are asking like what software I use, even though I like blatantly talked about it in the video. They almost want me to like hold their hand and show them how to get that software. And I'm happy to do that. But it just hit on a lot of different points and I felt really good about it. It's still climbing in views, still being shared, and I'm still getting DMs on it.
Oh yeah.
It's an amazing video. Yeah. Imagine being a client, you're watching that video and your agent doesn't do that. You're probably thinking, well, my agent sucks. My agent just, sends me an email invite and that's it. There's no follow-up, nothing. And then I meet the guy at the property and then he shows up.
Most agents don't even do any of that, which is what kind of inspired that video. Cause it's like, I'll sit down with Connor a lot and we'll be like, he's just like, tell me how you work. And I'll do this. And I was like, oh yeah, I always send out a calendar. But he's like, I don't think most people do that. And then I'm like, really? And then, talk to other agents. They're like, no, man, we just meet at the property. It's like, you just meet at 1 o'clock. Like how many times have you been no-showed? Oh, about 50% of the time. Holy hell. No, dude. And it's like immediate, like, what are you doing? And I can't believe how people don't do that. And that's what inspires stuff like that.
Well, that's a great video. Emily, you posted a video recently that probably went like mini viral, at least in the Greenville area, about Trader Joe's. So why don't we play this and we could dissect this one?
What up, fools? The rumors are true, and this is the future home site of a Trader Joe's here in Greenville at the Lincroft Shopping Center off of Evans Street. Coming this fall, you will be able to get all of your fancy schmancy snacks and not have very much parking, which I hear is a requirement for a Trader Joe's location.
Boom. Super simple.
That's literally
crushed it.
Literally, that took 7 minutes, if that. It took longer to drive there than it did to film that.
It's better when the settings in the background. Shane, you do this too, where you're actually going to the spot you're talking about. We always talk about it is kind of easy and it's a hack to just green screen and say, hey, in Springfield, there's going to be this Trader Joe's. But if you actually go there and show it, the video is so much more engaging. I also like the What Up Fools intro, which I noticed is kind of a staple in your content. Right?
People either love or hate that. But I will say that like if I'm out and about, I like people, if they recognize me from socials, will be like, oh, what up, fool? What up, fool? Like they will say it to me.
What
Exactly.
is that? Is it like a Southern thing, or is it? I mean, I know what a fool is. Like, is that like?
I really don't even know like where it came from. Like, I think I did it jokingly in one video. Like it's just something my dad used to say to us when we were kids, and I just like opened a video like that, and then people are like that particular video got a bunch of comments because people are like, why are you calling me a fool? And I'm like, why not? And then it just became a thing.
It's a brand staple now. People are saying it to you. You can make merch out of it. What Up Fools hats, What Up Fools shirts. You can monetize it, Dan. That's
other agents like say that to me at conference, like
that's
or
great.
like events or whatever. Yeah.
What would yours be, Dan? If you had to intro,
if I was down in the South, it'd be What Up, Bo.
What up, Bo? I like that.
Yeah, what up, Bo? Want to go get some 12-pack of PBRs, Bo? Come on now. That's pretty good. Emily,
Shane, what about you? What would you intro with? Just an angry grimace?
Angry grimace, and I say, let me ask my wife.
Have you heard that Hurricane Jimmy is a Category 5 and it's supposed to hit on September 27th?
Do you know the temperatures in the Atlantic right now? All right, easily 9% larger than we're like, and this is global warming. If we,
God.
So Emily, I got a question. The Trader Joe's parking lot. How did you hear about that? Was it just in the Greenville blogs, or how did you come across that info?
So I saw it on Facebook first. Somebody posted in the Greenville Moms group. Like there's like the mom Facebook groups or whatever. Somebody posted about it. And so I started digging, and then you can actually go online and like see where bids are put out for like construction bids.
Wow.
And I'm not going to be able to remember the name of the website, but there is a specific website that you can go on, and it's all public information. And Trader Joe's put out a bid to update like or upfit this particular location. And then I actually have like a family friend that works in city planning. And I was like, hey, Brad, are they really doing that? And he was like, yes, but you can't tell anybody yet. And so then when I got the green light that I could tell people, I made that video. And that's obviously with stuff like that, kind of like being first to market is super important.
Mm-hmm.
So that is my biggest challenge, I would say, with hyperlocal content, especially when I'm talking about like things that are coming into town, is being the first person to do it.
Did you put
That's
that on
great
YouTube
advice.
also?
I really don't use YouTube. It takes way too much like thought and planning, and I don't do well with that. All of my content is very off the cuff.
That could have been YouTube. I mean, you could still do it as a short, and I bet it would.
Yeah.
It would still do well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't
new
think
Trader
about that.
Joe's in Greenville ? That's
Yeah,
Yeah.
Trader
one in
Joe's is always so
Circular.
trendy and topical. It's like always on TikTok in terms of like what you said, the snacks and all this food people are getting from Trader Joe's, and also the Trader Joe's parking lot joke in there. Like that was a perfect piece
Brilliant.
of content. Honestly,
Dude,
really good.
the only time I've ever been there in my entire life, I had like a personal shopper. The guy was like showing me around, like, hey, here's the bananas, right? Like get this banana. No, you should get this bag of peanuts instead. Like I walked out of there, I went in there for like an apple and a couple of snacks. I spent like $400. Like a personal shopper. Like the guy was like, maybe he had his master's degree. It's incredible.
Yeah, they're great there. There we go.
You've never been
See,
there.
I literally have Peruvian macadamia nuts from Trader Joe's. I almost cracked my teeth on them last night. I was crushing them before dinner. And goes to Trader Joe's all the time.
Yeah, okay.
I don't go there.
You're right. There you go. Thank you.
I sit right here all day, every day, posting.
We don't have a
creating,
Trader Joe's
finessing.
locally. Like we have to go to Orlando, about an hour away, and people leave and go there like weekly from where we live.
That's so
Damn.
crazy.
They're diehards. Like it's insane.
Well, you know what? This content has really, made you guys stand out. And you know what also help you stand out from the crowd, Dan? You know, also help you is Reminder Media, a resource you need to check out. You get your own branded print and digital magazines, email newsletters, and social media content. Reminder Media delivers these resources to your contacts on autopilot, keeping you top of mind with your database. All you got to do is focus on your follow-up calls and watch referrals and repeat business come in. Use the link below to try out Reminder Media. Luke Acree, president of Reminder Media, by the way, speaking on Facebook ads at BAM Barbecue. So if you're watching this on Thursday, if you're watching this the week of July 11th, on July 17th, 6 days from now, we're hosting a free virtual event called BAM Barbecue. We are having 5 speakers, Sam DeBianchi on the state of the housing market, Luke Acree on Facebook ads. I'm interviewing Paige Steckling with Actually Agents on listing videos that convert.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Toole's talking about time management, and then Chris Smith is doing a keynote at the end on exactly what to say in sales strategy, how to talk about stuff. So, Emily, will you be attending BAM Barbecue, a free virtual event? There's no reason you shouldn't, unless you'll be at Trader Joe's getting Peruvian macadamia nuts.
I'll do my best to attend.
Okay.
Gotta
Well,
check
you know what?
my calendar, Eric.
Check your calendar. If you can't make it, the good news is we'll send you the replay.
Yeah,
We'll send you the damn replay. It's a free. This is a free.
Barbecue, summer, vacation. That's all you have to do. You just get the recording every single time.
That's all you got to do. So if you're on vacation, you can't make it, click the link in the description right now. Register. It is completely free. And we will be doing a giveaway for BAM Mania, which is our in-person event on October 18th. Emily, I would love to see you at that. Shane, I would love to see you at that. It is right before the real conference, Emily, a couple days before in Las Vegas on October 18th. Early bird tickets end July 18th, a week from today. So if you don't get them right now, big mistake, my friends. Big mistake.
Prices are going up every minute.
Prices are going up. All right. We're going to do Marketer of the Week. So we're doing it different. Instead of, making our guests send in Marketers of the Week and scroll Instagram 50 times a day, I just picked one.
Okay.
So, Haley, if we could play this is the funniest real estate video that I've seen in a long time.
If this is you, you better lower your motherfucking tone when you talking to me. guys, I got this really cool house for sale. You should check it out. You can buy it right now. It can even come fully furnished. What a great deal. Come get it.
That went over my head at first, and now
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, well, it applies to you, Dan. I think the best part about that video is just obviously a lot of people are using these kind of trends as hooks, but a self-deprecating trend like that, the whisper, I thought that was a brilliant video.
Yeah, you might as well not say another word for the rest of the podcast after that, brother man.
Yeah. I got nothing back. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you throw it a like. Make sure you go follow Emily McAllister. Emily, what is your Instagram handle so that people could give you a follow?
Realtor Emily McAllister.
Realtor Emily McAllister. You would be a fool not to follow Emily McAllister. And Shane Bergman, if you want more tips, how to customize your calendar, how to name a hurricane, you got to follow Shane Bergman. Shane, what's your Insta handle for the fools at home?
It's Shane Bergman.
Okay, Shane Bergman with a U, not an E.
Yeah,
That's
He will
right,
kill
with a
you
U.
if you spell it with an E.
Yeah.
And everybody knows to go follow Danny Deals, because Danny Deals, you got some big things coming, my friend.
I do.
You got some big things coming. So
do.
make sure you follow Dan on.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a vlogger right there.
Vlogger. Hey, man.
There we go.
Wow.
If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you throw it a like. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, because this is the best marketing podcast in real estate. We're here every single Thursday. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Shane. Thank you, Dan. We'll see you at BAM Barbecue, and then we'll see you in person at BAM Mania.